All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be the grand finals. Bros before hoes going to be taking off V4V, and this is the fun time in the tournament where we get to those grand finals. We get to see, go through that winners bracket. You get to play less games, but you do get put on ice a little bit in there. And meanwhile, the team V4V has been fighting their way up through here, so it could be a chance for them to upset, at least in this first game, potentially. Do have some good team comps coming in here. You see both teams spreading out very, very quickly in the jungles. Looks like there's going to be a top invade coming in here for V4V, and looks like Jane actually splitting off there to actually ward their blue. So just nice little protection play by them. Ward actually coming in for V4V at their own blue. So both teams kind of have the same idea right now. Both teams bunching up here towards this other side. It looks like Bros before hoes might be set up. Just maybe they want to take reds because they're not in really an evading position. But on the other side, the other team, V4V, definitely going for evade here. It's interesting to see when their timing is going to come down here, but shouldn't be too far out. So we'll have to see what does come through here. We're going to have Kunev in that top lane, and we're going to have followed up by Cho'Gath in the mid lane. Then we're going to have Jungle Vi. Highwind is going to be on the Jungle Vi, and then TK Rain and iFight Bear is going to be playing that bottom lane. TK Rain's going to be on that 80 Graves versus up against this pretty potent lane, which is this Twitch lane, which should be interesting to actually catch out here and see what actually ends up happening with that lane, because it's one of those lanes where if Twitch kind of gets an early advantage, could run away with it, and we see some action down here, and they're actually heading in towards this blue buff. Might take that. Looks like they're actually backing off out of this. Looks like they might be heading up towards red. A lot of blue pills, so yeah, they might just be in juking out. Might head to their own blue buff. Cho'Gath already mid, although that invade was pretty late to not commit. Actually, yeah, there's already minions in lane, so kind of confused a little bit about that action, just simply because it was so late that I feel like would be pretty interesting. And now the rest of the team run across very, very quickly, just trying to defend their own blue. But looks like Highwind's going to be able to take this, going to be able to back off out of this, and just needs to dodge a little bit of this pressure. But going to be able to Vault Breaker over this wall safely, and nicely done. Going to be able to get out scot-free with that blue buff. Well, they eating the Dark Binding, but not a lot of follow-up for that, so not feeling too bad about that right now. We're going to see the heavy pressure coming in from Frost, at least onto Kunev, at least in the early stages. And that's kind of Pantheon's MO. You can actually just throw in a lot of spears out there. Actually going boots and 3 pots, so I have a ton of sustain, but the weak early game of Aurelia just not really something to just completely be feared at this point. So that's a pretty safe start for him. Actually going to have some mobility as well. Going to be able to escape that distance, especially when you're with melee heroes like this. Not only is there great exchanges for Pantheon in general, but if you have the movement speed advantage, naturally when the trades do come in, you not only do you get that auto attack block, but you also have the movement speed that when you decide that you want to disengage and you don't want to get auto attack anymore, you can just disengage. I mean, it really does have a dash, but it's only so long, and then just by natural movement speed, you can actually disengage from this. And it looks like Highwind actually working onto that red buff now, going to be following that up shortly. But maybe on this bot lane, we're seeing something similar to Miss Alley-Cat before, pushing down this bot lane pretty hard here, and just getting some Howling Gales in there as well to help push this lane. As far as CS is going, Twitch is getting really behind here, and mainly on the back of the fact that they actually ran over to blue, and there's so much running around. So a little bit of disorganization, at least in the early stages, for V4V. At least how that worked out. So giving a slight advantage here. We see TK Rain and crew just poking in here, trying to be as safe as possible. And actually a really quick ward in there, and pings going down from Cho'Gath. Very aggressive ward coming in from them. Now Nocturne heading towards this top lane. Looks like he's creeping up here. Might want to try to get a push on here, but Kunev has already backed this off in this bot lane. And now Highwind going to try to work on this blue buff, which is not stolen. So this is like a happy birthday at this point. And it's kind of like, I kind of point back to it too. It's like, we saw last time V4V, or last time the buff was stolen, they didn't really, or when they went into invade on red buff and they actually were able to kill Highwind, they didn't take his red buff. So at least in the early stages, as far as like controlling buffs goes, doesn't quite have it down. And actually, we're gonna actually have a blue pill back already from V4V Frost, and looks like he's heading up here. He's gonna be able to buy out a longsword. Gonna start heading to lane, and now they actually have Morgana down here too, taking a little bit of damage. V4V getting pretty low here. Howling Gale coming in as well, and Twitch gonna have to stealth out of this. And here comes in the teleport to bot lane. V4V Frost in here, gets the stun, but the flash to counter. Now starting to get chased down. Should be able to finish this off, and that is gonna be first blood going to Twitch. Will TK Rain be able to get us? That is the key. Needs to be able to get us, not take too much damage, but eats that last Dark Binding, gets the cleanse off, but gets picked off. So that's an early 2 kills right now for. And then again, Twitch, that lane don't really give them advantage. And if they play this right, Twitch should be able to carry this one out. But that early teleport down, pretty heavy strategy. Saw it last time used by Miss Alleycat's team, and in this case, very, very effective, especially with CC from that. With someone like Pantheon, and something they can do even. You know, once they hit 6, too, just natural Skyfall down. They won't even need the teleport anymore. Meanwhile, Kunev just trying to push this lane solo in the top lane. So Pantheon, as long as he can actually get some bang for his butt, get some those kills like he has been doing, get the assists, you know, it will pay off for him to get out of lane. If he's not able to do it, though, then Aurelia's going to get fed up a little bit, which could be a pretty big thing for them going forward. So going to be interesting to see that dynamic again. Twitch get him snowballed early. It's kind of more of a carry I liked. I would have liked in their last team comp. I mean, you know, like we talked about, they had a front line that no one was ever going to get through and get to, and instead really didn't work out for them. And now the Fear Tether going to go down. Highwind just getting a little harassment off in the jungle, trying to trade up just a little bit, but no cigar. And now we're going to see the Twitch lane come back to fruition. Gonna actually have some health sustain as well with that Vamp Scepter, so should be looking pretty good for V4V, at least in that bot lane, as well as the just overall map presence we're going on here. Looking pretty good for them. Now with just only 500 gold difference at least, but in this early stage, about 6 minutes, and that's actually a pretty healthy advantage. We see Wollenega just trying to get in some decent harassment as they go on. I expect those two probably not going to be really big into killing each other quite yet, but we see Nocturne closing in on this mid lane. Overload does come in, gonna get off the Rupture to try to get out of this. Spell Shield is coming in. We see Highwind come in there as well. Overcharge Ignite might be enough. Highwind trying to finish off this Rise. Going to be very, very close here. Breaks the armor, trying to get that one last one, but the cooldown just enough. And it looks like Rogue's going to barely be able to escape out of this one. Might see a push up as both champions are actually going to back up out of this one. So might be able to deny a little experience in gold right there, but we'll have to see. Nope, Nocturne going to hang around. Not going to let that happen. Howling Gale just sweeping through just in case they can just get a pick off. So a nice little game set up here. You know, this is the first time actually, I believe Bros has actually been behind in any game so far, at least as we come out here. So Dark Binding's just barely missing. Poison's getting laid out. And Kunev now in this top lane actually having to deal against a better farmed up Pantheon, but actually does have those Ninja Tabbies now, so has a little bit more to say. And Pantheon's out of mana, so Pantheon doesn't have a lot to say or to respond to this pressure that's coming from Kunev. And you know, if Kunev could just keep farming up there and just get to those items that he needs to, you know, it could be a really big factor for late game. And you're going to have to do that in order to take advantage of this. And now we see Pantheon going back again. Still has about half cooldown, a little under half cooldown left on his teleport. So could see some more action from him, as well as he actually does have that level 6. So if they ever get stuck in a bad situation, could be trouble for them. But, you know, this trading down here from Twitch, I mean, you know, once he gets this leg up on you, it's pretty hard to get it back unless they are able to get him some support at some point with a gank or some big play. But, again, timing out that blue buff, it looks like Highwind and Shogath's going to be able to steal that out. Wollenega going to have that as well. Plus, they have the timer on their own blue buff, so nice little buff control there. And actually in a little bit of trouble in this bot lane coming in here. And TK Rain might get caught here. He is going to get caught out. Again, V4V Frost coming in yet again. They have so much CC there, especially if they land a binding. Can't get caught by any of those. Otherwise, just lights out. And now Kunev is trying to push in this top lane, but still Nocturne there just to cover, just in case they need to. Which, nicely done by them. Good coverage, good planning, and now we're going to see Pantheon run back top, and Kunev's going to have to be careful it doesn't get picked off in this top lane. Very, very low on mana, trying to come up here and punish, but needs to be cautious of that, and now his senses are kind of telling he should be able to back off of this. It's just going to blue bill back, so should be safe. Bot lane still in a little bit of trouble. I5 Bear just kind of hanging around, waiting for TK Rain to get back to lane. TK Rain bite up that Bilgewater Cutlass. Bilgewater Cutlass, you know, it's an okay, good starting item, but it generally on Graves, I actually like overall just 80 items rushing towards, just damage-wise, it's actually more efficient for him because of his 80 ratios on his spellcasting abilities. Potentially go something more heavy like Infinity Edge, but we're going to see the Blade of Ring come out on him, or at least the Bilgewater Cutlass to lead it off, so he's going to actually have a little bit of utility, sustain slow in there. But, yeah, we'll see how it goes now. And early on, it's going to have to do the Catalyst now, too, onto Cho'Gath, so he's pretty beefy in there at this point, and so should we see how this goes? Again, another nice little catch there. Again, Poison going to turn on, but they do turn on to V4V Cloud. Going to get that Black Shield back up. There's a lot of minions here in this lane, so going to be hard to trade. Now they're trying to come in here onto this Pantheon. There's the dunk from Highwind. Going to try to wrap up this kill. Ignite going down. Should be able to clean up this one, and easily done by Kunev. And now just great pressure up there in that top lane. Able to wrap up someone that's actually been able to get out of lane, get a few kills and assists. going under his belt, so that's actually going to help them out here. And again, just kind of feeding this Aurelia, which is going to be a big factor later on. Just going to have to wait to see that. But I think the big thing is they need to shut down this Twitch at some point, or at least keep him somewhat honest. And again, another catch. Just keep repeating that combo, and I think we're definitely going to have to see TK Rain get into a situation too here where he can just basically just have to be really cautious and not eat those bindings. Those bindings are setting up really, really good moves against him. So there we go. Top turret going to be able to be taken down now. And they're going to be able to take that top turret against Pantheon. So we see Kunev again just kind of pushes up, keep up farming. 70 CS, so 30 CS advantage. Doesn't have the assist to back him up, but still actually does have a kill up there on Pantheon. So looking pretty good for him now at this point. Rise backing off in that mid lane, just going to be tanking up, just basically getting those late game items. Right now only has tier, but should be heading towards that next stage of items. We see Nocturne actually stalking a little bit on the top jungle, going to be able to pick up his red, but also possibly look to punish Kunev. But Kunev can actually get out and around now. Can still farm up, only get into the phage set of his item build, has some attack speed, so it's going to take him a little bit more time to come online here, but should be pretty decent. Again, Pantheon does have his teleport up, and he has his Grand Skyfall, so can be very, very mobile, and just need to be constantly aware of that pressure in bot lane, just not succumb to it. A lot of global presence from that. But surprise, luckily for them, they don't have to worry about from Rise either. Rise being a little bit more aggressive in that mid lane. But he might back off now that he's low mana, but no, it looks like he's going to try to push up this a little bit before he heads back. But he's pretty much gassed on mana, so there's a big fight over objective. Something like that would be kind of hanging his team out to dry there. So doesn't have a good way to get back into it. So should see him back off or really shows up. So Pantheon just solo pushing top, but he can do that because he can easily come into a team fight. Not quite with Grand Skyfall because he will have to rotate, but with teleport at least, he should be able to do that. Pink ward's actually down in Tribrush and at Dragon for V4V, so pretty good ward setup there for them. And now we're going to see a Dragon possibly go down here. And yeah, will we see the teleport down from Pantheon? Yeah, there's the teleport down. There's the ult from Nocturne. The global presence going to be able to come in here. Will they be able to get this Dragon, though? That is the key. Dragon possibly going to be going. No, the Feast is going to seal that kill. And now the team fight going down now at this point. And Twitch still pretty much safe here as he backs off out of this. And there's the Expunge, doing out massive damage. And now the cleanup is starting to go. TK Rain able to come in there, get in one kill onto Pantheon there, but a double kill for Twitch, and that's going to be trouble. Again, just Twitch getting fed up here. And as long as he's able to stay in the back line, just appear when he wants to, could be actually have a good thing. So, if they're able to pick him off, could be huge for Bros Before Hoes. But at least right now, Twitch getting set up for the game that he wants to play. And Teleport actually coming in onto that bot lane to try to protect it. And now Kunev going on to the assistant, and will he be able to scale us? Already blew his shield, but just not enough speed. That last dagger trying to go in there, try to pick that up. But it looks like they're just going to back off. So Cho'Gath, nice little warding out, protecting that bottom turret, keeping it up for his team. So good little response there. So they did give up a few kills, but they were able to pick up Pantheon and they pick up some other stuff. And now Grand Skyfall coming out mid lane, coming on to Kunev, going to get the stun underneath turret, almost able to clear out the minions. Not going to quite be enough, and Highwind coming in there just to ward him off, just to protect Kunev's retreat. Kunev needs to go back, get some mana, probably buy up some more items as he's set up right now. But overall, TK Rain, at least in that exchange though, since they were able to get Dragon, I think actually Bros Before Hoes actually came up pretty good on that one. Not too bad for them. So good little setup. And a good little grand finals game that you have set up here. Again, it looks like Bros Before Hoes actually pulling a little bit of a lead here. Despite this early pressure that's been going on for them, and now they might be able to catch themselves out. Frost, the Rupture just barely misses, but that dunk is going to be able to seal the deal onto here, and there we go. iFight is actually picking up the kill. Dota Sense is tingling, but they need to be careful. Actually, blew some cooldowns. Not going to be able to have the tools they need to possibly get to Twitch though. So need to be careful they don't get picked out. A nice little cover retreat from the Howling Gale from iFight Bears. Going to be able to disengage. And again, Aurelia in that top lane, still farming up, still keeping a decent advantage up there. And Pantheon, we're probably going to see him fall off here if we get into deep waters. Aurelia's going to become a much bigger tool. Grand Skyfall's not going to work. The teleport hijinks aren't going to be as big of an effect anymore. We're probably not going to see the split pushing. So should be interesting as we go forward as far as these team comps go, and it's going to start to favor a little bit more towards Aurelia's side than the Pantheon side. But the early game is hand has been played. They've started to get Cloud farming, has his Bloodthirster ahead of time, has that little advantage. But if they're able to pick him off, that'd be huge. He's already 4-0-1, so not only will they get a big bonus of gold on the enemy team, but they actually happen to stand on a ward. So unfortunately, Highwind iFight Bears being patient here, although they were seeing, and Twitch is going to know that they're actually there in that bot lane and not going to be able to pull off a gank here. But it's okay. Sometimes patience is rewarded. Pantheon up in that top lane, still pushing, does not have teleport, still has over half, but now they actually don't be patient, and now they come in here, and there's a little bit of possible reward, and Nocturne coming in here, but he's put himself in a little bit of trouble, and V4 should actually blows Flash to try to get in, and I think he was going to try to get off a Soul Shackle, but not kind of quite happen, and with spells blown, he actually would just get knocked away, so Rupture actually going to force him down into this jungle path that has enough movement, but Highwind with a beautiful bionic arm puts him against the wall, and that's going to be another pickup onto Rise. So BB4H fighting back here and now starting to extend out their lead. TK Rain's been able to farm and keep pace here as they start to push in, and now he's going to actually dive in and be able to take this middle turret, more than likely clearing out those waves really quickly. Got 5, everybody else still waiting to get in there onto that team fight, and Howling Gale going to possibly meet Cloud right as he comes out of stealth, but it's going to use that to push back out this lane. Pantheon, meanwhile, clearing out those golems, going to possibly start to focus into to drop it in on this one, but we'll have to see this go down. Pink Ward, Dragon Control actually going to BB4H at this point. Few wards coming around, mainly focused around mid lane, coming out here for V4V, but yeah, we'll see how they go. They're trying to push this down, but I don't know how well it's going to work for them, at least at this point, but should be able to put up a little bit of pressure, but I think the wave player is a little bit better now, and see, ooh, Morgana fishing a little bit there, but they don't really have good follow-up, and they actually don't have a turret. So I think they've realized this Zephyr actually coming onto Cloud. Now they're going to follow this up onto Morgana, who doesn't have a lot of response. This is going to basically be eaten alive, literally by Wallenega. And yeah, nice little pickup right there. And TK Rangers in that bot lane needs to be careful. They don't do a little bit all in to try to pick him off. But again, Aurelia in that top lane, split pushing 2-0-1. Really have to hand it to him. Has actually a stinger. Actually, Natcher's Tooth are working on there. Actually, it might just be Stinger at this point. Yeah, it is Stinger. So it just has the 40% attack speed and the 10% cooldown, which is a really nice item for her. And he's going to be able to pick up that in response and look pretty beefy as he starts to move along in this game, still getting fed up. So again, you know, that scale is going to start to tip, and Kuna is going to become a large factor for them. Also going to be another tool as well as Vi to dive into that back lane to get onto that Twitch when he does decide to try to come in on these team fights, because he's going to be a lot of the damage coming out here for V4V's team. So if they're able to pick him off, I mean, it kind of shuts down a lot of what they do. Then they just have to try to clean up Rise. Pantheon can't even get picked up in collateral damage. It's going to be pretty squishy. Same with Nocturne. There's a lot of damage dealers for the team that just aren't quite that tanky. If they can pick, they just take down if they just pay attention, just keep track of Twitch, should be able to be pretty good, at least in these fights going on forward. But Frost, again, just trying to push out this lane, and then Aurelia's going to meet up with their team, buy up again possibly here. Brutalizer actually coming in for Vi as well, so Brutalizer plus Literal has a lot of damage backing him up in this build, and we're actually going to see more attacks be coming in with the Zeal as well, and so now pressure looks like a lot of the team for BB4H is actually collapsing on this bottom turret. Meanwhile, we actually see Aurelia heading back to that top lane. Kind of actually think, you know, looking back at this team comp, their coverage is kind of the teleport on Cho'Gath, which is actually pretty good as well. Aurelia could actually use a little bit of it herself as well. Probably could have been pretty effective for some of this game that's going. But Cho'Gath pretty safe here. a little bit of poke harass coming in from Nocturne, but not really scared. That Howling Gale coming in very, very nicely. Zephyr's landed. Spell Shield gonna block the Rupture, but there's gonna be the dunk from Highwind onto Nocturne as he tries to back out of this, but Rise just torn apart. You know, you thought the trouble person with all the cooldowns blown was going to be onto Nocturne, but unfortunately just got absolutely blown up, and there's Twitch. Ruptured might land. There's the slow Equilibrium strike coming in, barrier coming down, and there's going to be that quick stealth to try to get out of dodge. Teleports out of base. Now they're trying to turn this one onto Nocturne. Has the Black Shield very, very close. TK Rand's going to be able to get that last auto attack in. Going to be able to clean that one. Now Shin in a lot of trouble, and there's Wolea coming in. Again, just loves to nom himself on there. And now Twitch from the sideline, going to try to stealth out of this one yet again, but if he catches any CC, has no more barrier, has no more flash, is going to be a lot of trouble. There's an awesome bionic arm coming in there from Highwind, and now the huge pressure coming in from BB4H, and this is looking actually really good for them. Again, V4V has that early hijinks, but just the coordination from BB4H is just a lot better in this execution of this team comp as we go farther on in this game. And again, you know, their team comp again too, just like it a lot better. You know, this Aurelia is going to become super effective as well, and they're taking advantage of this Cho'Gath. This is Cho'Gath's, you know, this is his shine moment. You know, you get to 20 minutes in, hit this mid game, he's unkillable. You can start to really stack up these advantages. So again, BB4H looking pretty good here. Oracle's a little scanning coming in. I5 Bear's not quite venturing far enough up, but the ward is going to fade. A lot of effort actually coming down here now. It has no wards from V4V, so they might be thinking about this dragon as they come in here. Ward over the wall, and looks like they should be able to take this dragon. Highwood just putting a hit on that ward. Let them know that maybe they're there. It might scare them a little bit actually out of this one, but it looks like they are going to commit to this. Rest of the team for BB4H trying to run in here, and this is a very slow dragon. You kind of feel how they are behind. Rise really trying to get to that Rod of Ages, but hasn't been able to do it. Been getting picked off, and a teleport actually on its ward is going to be a big Cho'Gath. They're going to try to focus him. That is a mistake, I feel. Rupture's going to be able to land. Silence goes across the team. Kuniv's able to get onto the enemy team. Equalizer strikes coming, just diving straight in there. We're actually going to see Highwood actually go on and to zone out this Twitch right now, and Twitch is in a lot of trouble with Vi all over him. Can't really remove that. He's going to actually be able to solo Twitch, and that's what you got to do. And there's actually going to be a 3-for-1 at least. Kuna finally falling, but he might be able to get this last one. Rupture is going to be able to be barely blocked by that black shield, so lucky for Shin. He's going to be able to get out of that one, but nicely done. Nice execution. Again, as I talked about earlier, Twitch just not really in a position to be protected by anyone, and easily going to be 1v1 by Highwind, so good pick off there for him onto that Twitch. And again, just execution is huge right now. TK Rain helping push up this bottom lane. Rise going to be the only defender possibly for this. Just need to play safe with this one, and they should be fine as least as you go forward. So the dragon, you know, the big go-to that was actually picked up in there, so not a complete loss for V4V in that one. But as you can see, they're starting to slip away their lead. 6K disadvantage now. Huge waves pushing top, and yeah, again, Pantheon just going to become, you know, that early ult, the man drop. It's great. It's he has some good early lane presence, but the problem is when you get into this stage, he can't really man drop into a team fight unless you're setting up over an objective he's coming in. So you really have to hold still for him. In a dynamic team fight that's going, it's really hard for him to land a good one. You actually have a lot of time to just walk out of it unless you're CC'd pretty heavily by maybe a Morgana ult or something. But I don't think they're ever going to get that chance just based by the disengage and just the power they have to engage if they want to. I mean, pretty much right now, BB4H can actually just turn on whenever they want to. A lot of bubbles going around, as that Cho'Gath actually takes a lot of damage, at least running a lot of that. So here we go. Now we're going to see Highwind loop around that top side in the jungle. Try to put down here again. Want to focus onto this Twitch in here into these fights. Don't want to get caught by that Dark Bind actually hits a tank minion. Don't think that was what they're looking for. That was a pick, and Highwind's still waiting in the wings. Might be able to come in here. Ward going over the wall from Pantheon. They keep backing him off out of this, and here we go. Might see an engagement here. Both teams just kind of looking for a pick of some sort from CC, and I think we're actually going to be able to go in and see some fireworks here. Kuvan Highwood, now they're pressuring on this turret for 4v5. And here we go. Howling Gale coming in, poking on this turret. TK Rain getting that awesome Eye of the Storm on him, giving some AD buff as well as some protection. Actually doesn't even lose it. They're not able to take it down, so still had the full buff there. And there is a quick ult by I5 Bears to disengage as they back off out of this. Mandrop going to be able to come on this. Who's going to pick as a target, though? Again, everybody just walks out of it, and that's the problem with Mandrop. It's not, you know, it's not really a team fight thing unless they're actually fighting over an objective and you know they're kind of held there, or you're able to get off some other big CC. But really, it requires so much setup. I mean, you could literally like read the pro life book before anything goes on. So blue buff is going to be fed to someone. The question is it going to be Cho'Gath? And it looks like it is. As actually 2 auto attacks there to finally knock that down. And I think V4V kind of needs to get a little bit creative here. Can't just straight up. Probably not going to have a good chance to straight up fights, but we'll have to see. Again, it's going to have to be just Twitch picking the right time to make his entrance, but it's starting to get to the point where we're seeing some tankiness come in. We're seeing Aurelia start to get her items online. Once, I mean, she's on the doorstep of a Triforce, so I think when she goes back, she'll be able to pick up that. And then once you hit that stage, you have Triforce Stinger. I mean, that's gonna be a handful for them to deal with as well. I mean, they've already had to deal with the vibe, but then they're gonna have that on top of that, plus the Cho'Gath waiting in. And really, TK Rain, it's gonna be similar for V4V. They're gonna have to want to work on TK Rain, but Graves pretty safe, has a lot of utility. They have a really good front line, should be pretty safe here. And now a little bit of poke going on this mid lane, but not gonna matter. And just jogging position. V4V just kind of waiting for it. Just kind of waiting for they're sitting in a defensive position, and and looking for a chance that actually they can catch out here, pick the team fight they want, maybe get some turret help on this, but actually lots of wards going down. Finally get a fade, so really just nice timing by V4V again. We're going to feed out those Dark Bindings, trying to get a pick. But again, I mean, unless something BB4 really commits to something that they can't deal with, might be trouble for them. But as far as it looks at this point, they are in the driver's seat. So wards going up, a lot of them are around Baron at this point, not a lot around that bottom side jungle. Rise going to split down, so they do know they're actually going to have the numbers advantage at this point, as we see TK, Rain, and Highwind starting to back up their team. Moving in here into this mid lane. And Cloud just trying to poke out there, but doesn't quite have the range to deal anything to Aurelia. And now Rise actually have to take the long way around on this push. Comes around there, and now they're going to poke in here. Again, they're Howling Gale crossing the enemy team. Tower is going to be able to come down, and now we might see a team fight on. And then we see a lot of peel actually going in for TK Rain. On here has the cleanse, should be able to blow it up. And there we see Highwind is going to fall to this. So both of the junglers diving in, getting turned on by the AD carries, getting a lot of peel there as expected. Beautiful Monsoon by iFightBears, just sending Pantheon away, and now the re-engage coming in here, and they do not want any part of this. Cloud just needs to do his best and run for his life at this point, because Kunuv is coming for him, and this could be trouble. Zephyr comes in to seal up this kill. If they pick off Cloud, this could be huge. Bros Before Hoes now has pretty much all their carries up, going to be able to get the ace, and right there, that the dive's working out a lot better for Vi, able to just to stand out a little bit better. Does some damage, and really just they kind of got sucked in there. They thought they were on the they're on the winning edge there, but really it was kind of fool's gold. And instead they got caught out there, and Kunuv just decided that it's time to do this. Howling Gale comes in, just again zoning out, and just poor TK Rain left there, but now he's going to be able to get out of that turret range, going to be able to do out some damage, and now they're going to be able to work on get their first inhibitor, and now that lead that was so close being held by V4V has fallen away. 10k advantage now coming in here, and yeah, he's going to be able to back off out of this one. Now going to head down towards this Baron pit, possibly. Lots of pings going down, so they actually think that there might be a Baron going down, but it looks like there's actually a little bit of a duel between Highwind and Pantheon here, although unfortunately a lot of minions down here, so he's just really just trying to blunt down this bottom wave, trying to stop the push, and Pantheon just going to run away from this, as he knows a lot of people might be coming in on him. He does not have teleport up, but he does have Grand Skyfall, but there's a silence and a rupture for him, so there's no way he's going to be able to use that to get out while the silence down, so all he has is rupture to deal with the rest of the team flanking up here. And yeah, this is a pick off on a Pantheon. Unfortunately, Frost has no way to get out of this one. Slip pushing a little bit too much where he shouldn't have been. And really, V4V, I feel like this is kind of the game that the inexperienced teams kind of fall under, is that just like you get to the stage where you know what to do in the early game, those early gaming advantage, and you try to push that win home. But when it doesn't work, when a team like this comes back on you, the plan kind of falls apart. Especially with champions like Pantheon, you really have to snowball and just run away with it. Otherwise, you end up in situations like this where looking at Aurelia, looking at Pantheon can have all the items he wants. He's working on a Warmogs here to try to get tanky, but not going to matter. We're getting to the stage of the game where now Blade of the Rune King'd up Graves. I mean, he's going to be able to chunk right through that, so not too big up on that one. So red buff actually being stolen by Kunuv up in the top jungle. All the buffs being held, and now now we see the pressure going in. Believe it or not, yes, Janet does have 3 kills. You can hear in the background maybe. But yeah, here we go. Team's backing off. Team's backing off. TK's backing off, and this should be able to blind up. And actually, yeah, so check this out. Zephyr, Trinity Force, Belt of Health on Aurelia, never getting her off of you ever in a million years. If you wanted, Kuniv's going to be able to get into that back line, or when he picks his time to get in, he's going to actually have a huge time. And now TK Rain actually feeling a little bit good here against this Twitch. Twitch is trying to split push this bottom lane. We'll see if it actually works out for him at this point. And now Aurelia trying to move in on to Taylor. Again, this is kind of the stage where Kunuv is getting. This is the difference between Kunuv and Pantheon. Pantheon split pushing top by himself, and Aurelia just pushing lane, hoping for the best. Bring them all on is what he's saying right now. Now they're actually heading over towards this Baron here, and trying to set up this next plan of action here. Ward's coming down all over down there. And now we're actually going to see the Baron start to go down. We'll see if V4V actually tries to get some desperation move on this. Twitch is able to take bottom lane, but that is the key right now. Q for them to go on to this Baron. And Kunev actually over the wall. Again, he can zone him out all by himself. It's going to be hard to unstick right now. There's nothing they're going to be able to do. There's so much CC reduction. 1v4 really just needs for his team. If he buys time for his team, it's going to be solid. But he might be alive by the time it goes down. No, it looks like he's going to fall back. Ignite. It's very close. Oh, no. Oh, the Baron was almost going to be enough. But now here comes in the re-engage. Black Shield trying to cover Pantheon on his way out, but that's just a lost cause. But Twitch in the backside, that is kind of what they need, but he's not laying damage over the team. Pantheon going to be picked up, and Twitch might be coming in the back, but he's going to be picked up here. Has no mana, no outs, and there's I5Bears. That is potent Zephyrs. Land him like a boss. Actually has oracles as well, so there was absolutely no way for Twitch to actually get out of this one. Now Morgana trying to have to defend this one with Ryze. Don't like their chances on this one. Have a lot of tank, plus they have TK Rain backing this one up with his Baron buff. Gonna be able to chunk out some enemies. Black Shield is blown, and I5Bears coming in the backside, outplaying right there, dodging the Dark Binding. Beautifully done right there with that move speed. There's the pop-up. There's the third nom of the game by Wallenega onto Misfortune, his favorite snack. And there's another Rupture. Beautiful cooldowns coming in. TK going to be able to possibly have one last hit. There we go. Unstoppable. Now working on turret. Going to be able to work on a number inhibitor. And there's, this is the only time Pantheon's ult works, but all for naught. I5Bears just eats it in the middle of it. Pops back out. Howling Gales trying to toy out with them. There's going to be enough poison and true damage in there to clean up that one. TK Rain should be able to pick off this one. Is going to land that blast. Going to pick up another one. Dominating now. Should pick up another one. Looks like, oh no, Wollenegger going to be go legendary now. Doing some serious work. And here we go. Oh, TK Rain just getting out of that tether. Might come back into this one. And we're in trouble. Another feast. Godlike from TK Rain. And that's another hit down. And V4V basically on the ropes now. Oh, look, and Kunev is back. It took your entire team just to down him, and look, he's back. What is Morgana ever going to do to that? And it looks like Bros Before Hoes going to be able to take down the grand finals and win this tournament. Congratulations to them. Very nicely done. Secretly rooting for my own team. But no, V4V, I think that, they showed some good stuff here, and I've actually made a lot of progress throughout this tournament. Able to upset Miss Alicat's team, I think, was pretty big for them. And, congratulations. Well done by both teams. And that's going to wrap up the League of Legends tournament for ECL. Have a great weekend, boys and girls. I will be casting tomorrow on twitch.tv/RaiseYourWeaponMedia for the HGL After Hours Gaming League. Going to cast some cool teams doing that, but instead, we might cast some more in-houses or scrims or fun games. But for now, just going to go celebrate with the team. And, yeah. So have a good one, guys. Thank you for watching this one. And, yeah, again, have a good weekend. And also, big shout out to NCIX. They're going to be able, the main sponsor of this, actually going to be able to furnish them out with a bunch of prizes as well as